Hi, I'm Steve McNally from Korg, and I'm here at Kraft Music to show you the Pa4X Professional Arranger. For a great deal, check out the bundles at Kraft Music. Okay, let's take a look at why the Pa4X is so good, starting with sound. It has 10 times more PCM than any other Korg arranger in the past. And one of the things is we can actually read the sample memory off of the internal drive in real time. For example, with this beautiful piano that does not have any loops. You get the full length of the note, multiple velocities, again, with no loops. And really, so much attention to detail. For example, something like a Wurlitzer or a Rhodes piano actually has mechanical things going on inside of the instrument itself. And we actually have that inside of the sound as well. We also feature something called DNC, Dynamic Nuance Control. Because, for example, with a saxophone, it doesn't just do one sound of just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It does little nuances that really bring it to life. And with DNC inside of the Pa4X, I can use things like switches, the joystick, the ribbon controller, even how I play the keyboard to bring in these nuances. For example, this saxophone. It also has a virtual drawbar organ. And these sliders on the left side of the keyboard control drawbars just like on a real drawbar organ. Also, there's a rotary speaker effect inside of this sound as well. So when I push the joystick forward, the rotary speaker speeds up, like this. But Korg pays attention to all of the sounds, the intricacies. For example, how does a real rotary speaker work? If you opened it up, you would see that there's a spinning horn for the high frequencies, and then a cover that's called a rotor that's over top of the speaker itself that spins for the lower frequencies. And when you say, okay, speed it up, the horn goes, okay, no problem, okay, I'm going fast. But the rotor is a larger object, so it takes longer, and it's, okay, now I'm going fast, da, 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 da. And so you can actually hear that in the effect. Listen, when I push the joystick forward, you'll hear the high frequencies speed up at a different rate than the lower frequencies. When you try that on other keyboards, many times they don't pay attention to that detail, so that the high frequencies and the low frequencies speed up and slow down at different rates. Now, the nice thing about the PA4X is that everything's laid out logically. You have dedicated sliders here that, as you saw, can be used for drawbars, but they can also be used for volume, etc., or even assignable as well. All the switches for the fills and variations are right at your fingertips for selecting sounds and so on. And the beautiful thing is, the interface is based around this lovely 7-inch color touchscreen. So for example, when I want to choose a new sound, there are buttons along the right side here that I can use to go to a particular family, but I can also touch the screen. And then the screen opens up and I have the different sounds on the screen. I can select the one I want. There are different pages I can go to select another sound, and there are families of sounds on the left and right. So I can go to the electric pianos, choose the one I want. Plus we have factory sounds. We have legacy, which are the favorites from previous arranger keyboards, plus GMXG, as well as user for the sounds that you want to make your own or edit and save on the PA4X. Also, along the bottom there are tabs that I can go to access different pieces of information. And what's nice about that is that I don't have buttons along the side or the bottom to get to that. If I want something, I just go to it. If I want to adjust something like volume, I can actually touch the slider on the screen and move up and down, and the slider moves right along with me. Now this menu button will take me into more complex editing. And again, even when there's a knob here, I can take it and move it left and right, and the knob moves left and right. If I select a value and then touch it a second time, a keypad opens up and I can just type in the value that I want and say, okay, it's that easy. Also, I can press this button and then adjust the screen to the position that I want, and it's locked there. Now the thing about the PA4X, of course, is that it's a professional arranger. And that means that inside there are styles for you to play along with. All you do is trigger a chord and press start. Along the left side, there are the buttons to access 3 intros, 4 variations, 4 fills, a break, and 3 endings. Now it's on variation 1 now, and I can play different chords. When I go to another variation, it does a fill and goes to that variation. But the nice thing is that autofill is on, so it can do that, but I also have direct access to the fills. So I can, if I want fill 4, go to variation 4. I have complete control. The endings, now, the thing you'll find striking is how realistic the styles are, no matter what musical genre they're in. Let me show you an example. Again, I use the screen to access what I'm looking for. I'm going to go to the ballad category and select Unplugged Ballad 1 and exit to return to the main screen. I trigger a chord. I've got intro 1, so it will have a chord progression. By the way, intro 2 doesn't have a chord progression, so you can play your own, and intro 3 just gives you a quick count in and into the song. I press start. Now listen in particular to the strumming of the guitars in this style. It really sounds like the strumming of a guitar. Now why is that? It's because we have an amazing feature called Guitar Mode 2. Let's take a look. So I'm going to press record so I can show you this feature. leave it on record, edit the current style, and press OK. Now I'm in where I can actually create a style track by track or edit the style track by track. But what I'm going to do is go to one of the tracks that has a guitar on it, and I'm going to go to guitar mode. Now with guitar mode, I not only have things like the nuances like harmonics and banging of the body of the guitar to give more realism, but also I have complete strumming gestures that are dedicated on certain keys. And you can see right away how you can start to get much more realism. But also, you can see on the screen here that it's triggering this particular chord, the C, in this in a particular frets on the guitar. But if I go here, I can go down to different voicings of that chord. I can play it as a normal C at the bottom, go up as a C A bar chord, even go up to the top and do it as a G bar chord like that, and it actually recreates it. That's part of the reason these styles sound so realistic. So you can see already why the Pa4X is perfect for performance. But the thing you might find surprising is that the Pa4X is also perfect for songwriting. Now normally when you're writing a song, you sit down, you get a sound, play some chords, try to get a chord progression idea, sing along, whatever. But the other thing that can happen is that you can maybe get a drum loop or a drum pattern playing. So I can just call up the drums. I've got a nice drum pattern going. Now I'm playing chords, and it takes me in a different direction now. But you can go much further than that. Imagine if while you're playing the chords, the whole band follows you. You hit a variation. Now you're being inspired much more because there's a whole band following you. You're actually hearing what it will probably sound like with the finished product. But let's say that you got inspired and you have a musical idea. Now what? Well, there is a built-in sequencer, 16-track sequencer, but that whole system of going, okay, I'm going to record the drums, and you go, key, goo, 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 key, goo, 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 okay, now the bass, key, goo, 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 boom, 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 boom. And when I do that, I get to like track 3 or something, and I forget what the song was like. I was like, it's not that good of a song, and I'm going to go watch Netflix. But the thing about the Pa4X and all PA keyboards, it has a way of capturing everything in real time. Watch this. I go to sequencer, and I press record. And here, as it says, multi-track sequencer, I can use the 16-track sequencer, but I'm going to go to backing sequence quick record and say OK. It automatically brings in the style that I was playing, the sound I was playing, and I go in and just choose, OK, I'm going to start with variation 2, and I'm going to use intro 3 as the start. When I press start, it will give me a 1 measure count in, and then I start playing the musical idea. press start, and it's there. So moments after I have the inspiration for the song, it's captured, it's actually recorded, and I'm ready to go. Now I can go further and I can add additional tracks, but what's amazing is I can actually change the song itself. Now let's say that you listen to the song and you go, okay, you know what? I went from there to this, and then I went to the G. Well, instead of the G, I think I'd like to go to a C. Now, normally, you'd have to go to the bass track and edit it, go to the piano track and edit it, go to the string track and edit it, and so on and so on. With this, Pa4X and all PA keyboards, I press record, select step backing sequence, touch OK. And here are all the things that happened. The chord I played, the intro one, as it says it's variation 2, and E minor, and then I go along and there's the G. And instead of the G, I can go in and just simply play a C, and it's done. Or if I want, I can actually use the screen to adjust what I want the chord to be as well. I say done. Oh, let's change another thing. Where I went to variation 2, let's change that to variation 4. And I say done. Are you sure? Yes. And now listen. Plays the D, the E minor, but when it goes to the G, it plays the C. Now it goes to variation 4 instead of variation 3. So much faster to change things on the Pa4X sequencer. Okay, we recorded the MIDI tracks, but you probably have a melody in your head as well. And so what you do is you take a microphone, plug it directly into the back of the Pa4X, and I'm going to go to Song Play. On Song Play, I can play back the song that I already recorded and saved. So I go here, select the song, and it's ready to go. Oh, my love. But how do I record that? Well, the Pa4X also has an MP3 recorder. Hold down Shift, press record, and the MP3 recorder pops up. As soon as I press record, it'll start recording. Oh, my love. I can rename it if I want. I'm just going to press save and save it as it is. I go in and now choose that song, select, and press play. Oh, my love. Inside of the Pa4X, there's a TC Helicon vocal processor, the most respected vocal processing company in the world. And it gives you not only effects like reverb and compression and so on, and special effects like auto-tune, but it also gives you 4-part harmony. You just play a chord and turn it on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is wonderful in applications like using the styles, like this. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, not a trace, doubt in my mind. I'm in love. Ooh, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. PA4X really is the best arranger ever made. And let me show you a few reasons why. It can play standard MIDI files, XG files, karaoke files, and even MP3s, but it can actually play two at the same time. And then I can use this slider to crossfade from one to the other. This is Korg's patented technology. Now I'm going to go and select an MP3, for example, the one that I just made. Press Start, and then crossfade over. I can transpose that in real time, or even adjust the tempo in real time. It also has an incredible standard MIDI file to style converter. I can take a particular standard MIDI file, and I go to Style Play, and I press Record, and I choose Create Style from Standard MIDI File. Then I'm going to go to my USB stick, choose the MIDI file, and press Select. And in a matter of seconds, it goes through, analyzes the standard MIDI file, creates 3 intros, 4 variations, 4 fills, a break, and 3 endings. I write it, and now I go and select the style, play a chord, all the fills are there, different variations, and to an ending. Now, this doesn't work with every single standard MIDI file, but works with a lot of them. And that means you're going to have access to hundreds and hundreds of styles that you can create. Also, Songbook. Songbook is a programmable musical database. And I have a list of songs on the screen, and I can go through, have hundreds of them here. I select the one I want, and it automatically brings up a style, an XG file, a karaoke file, or a MP3 for me to use to perform that song. Now, there are other companies out there that have that sort of feature, but the difference is when I call up that song title on a PA keyboard, it also brings up my complete keyboard setup. 4 keyboard settings, the TC Helicon, everything is ready to go. I don't need to do any more button pushes than just select the song I want. It also has setlist, and with setlist, you can go in and basically put together the songs that you're going to play for that evening. So you're not searching around for a MIDI file or wherever it is. I can just go in and say, okay, I'm going to play this song, and I'm ready to go. Another great thing about the PA4X is that it has a chord sequencer. So while it's playing, just before the start of the measure, I press these 2 buttons and start playing the chord progression. Now press these 2, and the chord progression repeats, and frees up both hands to be able to take advantage of D and C, the joystick, the drawbars. And the nice thing is, you can save a chord sequence with every single song in Songbook. Search, and I just type in some part of the title of what I'm looking for, search, and there's everything, for example, with the name Love in it. I can search for styles, for songs in Songbook. I can search for sounds. I can even search for files on my internal or external drives. It's just like searching for something on your computer. Now, it comes in 61 and 76 key versions, but it also comes in a dedicated Oriental version as well, with hundreds of oriental styles and sounds, and even the ability to really have a much more complete access to different tunings. Now the PA4X really is laid out so intuitively. The switches that I want to access are easy to jump to. The touch screen is so intuitive. But you may be saying to yourself, yeah, but it does a lot. How will I ever learn how to use that? Well, we thought of that. And actually in the box, you will find a DVD. You put that into your computer or your DVD player, and there's a 1-hour video manual in 9 different languages that takes you from one end of the keyboard to another, teaching you how to select sounds, how to create MP3s, how to use the TC Helicon vocal processor. We make it easy for you. Now, there are a few options you can add to the PA4X. For example, the EC5 5-switch foot pedal that gives you hands-free access to doing things like changing the variations or turning the harmonies on and off. There's also an easy clip-on speaker system that clips right on the back with no wires. You'll find these options in many of the amazing bundles available from Kraft Music. So that's the Korg Pa4X. You can see that it does many things and it's very flexible. And the nice thing about it is that it easily slips into whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're performing or you're songwriting or you need great sounds in the studio. The Pa4X can do it all for you. Once again, I'm Steve McNally from Korg, and I'm here at Kraft Music. Thanks for watching.